Goeiedag and welcome, my name is Amarenske and today I will be doing a quick review of the book Silverthorn by Raymond Feist. Previously I have done a review of the book Magician and this is the sequel to Magician. But the point is you can read Magician as a standalone, you will get a full story, and this book starts off 1 year after Magician has ended and Prince Arotha has met his love Anita in the previous book. In which kind of situation I will not tell because I think that it will spoil all the stuff that happens if I tell in the situation. But in any case, it starts off on a boat 1 year after the Book of Magician ends, and the three princes are traveling across the seas, and they have been to other dukes and earls and around the kingdom to see how everything's going and what the war has cost and that kind of stuff. And they end up being back in Krondor, which is where Arotha lives now. And we end up planning the wedding with of Arotha and Anita, which is kind of a hectic situation. And in that case we meet the character Jimmy the Hand again, who discovers that there are assassins around who have their eyes set on Arotha, and during or before the wedding already several assassins go after Arotha and try to kill them. And then I believe it was a third assassination attempt, but I have no clue if that is actually true. But that one was with a poisoned arrowhead that was supposed for Arotha, and he was supposed to die, of course, because otherwise it would not be an assassination. But the arrowhead hits his Anita on their wedding, and they have to keep her in a suspended animation type thing, in which the time has been slowed down so much that only when the seal breaks time goes on again. And Arotha has to find the treatment for a poison called Silverthorn. Silverthorn is the little plant here on the cover of the book. And for that they have to travel to enemy territory. It is a little bit of like a Sleeping Beauty type of story, but different. And we get a lot of character development of Arotha, where the character development in the first book was focused partly on Arotha. We get now more of Arotha and his brothers Liam and one other, but I'm not going to tell you who that is. And we get a lot of epic traveling. This book is high fantasy combined with epic fantasy. The scale is more smaller, but also the story is more epic, and it changes completely to an epic fantasy in the third part, which I'm currently reading. And I can already see the epic battle commencing. It is coming into play, that epic battle. I'm over 2/3 of the book, I think, right now there. And it's quite epic, and you see like build-up starting happening in this book for that final battle, which is quite amazing. You see characters starting to develop more close bonds. You see unlikely loves happening, and Jimmy the Hand is incredibly funny. I really love that. That character is so funny, so witty and quick, and apparently quite a silent sneaker, because he was a thief, or is a thief still, when he comes to warn Arotha for the assassins. It is all written so well, and so certain funny things happen that you would not necessarily expect, but also are not completely a surprise. I really like those books. This one made me think less than Magician, but I still think it's a decently good book. Good enough even that Magician is probably one of my new all-time favorite books. It surpassed some of the books that have been my favorites for 8 or 9 years. And this one is a good sequel. Not a 5-star rating, but probably around 4, maybe 4.25 star. I definitely also recommend this one. I would almost say you can read this one without reading Magician if you have no troubles with not understanding everything that's happening exactly, because some of the warfare and strategy tactics that have been explained in the first book are mentioned in shorter here. So it is better to read Magician before this, but if you're very impatient and you only want a more epic skill story, you can start with this one. But I didn't do that, so don't trust my word fully on that. I just recommend reading Magician beforehand because that's the whole point of this being a sequel to the first book, right? So this was my very quick short review of Silverthorn by Raymond Feist. I really enjoyed it. This was it for now. Thank you for watching and on tot de keer!